Love, exciting and new. Come aboard.
I've got more stuff for the
I'm
show.
recording you.
That's going to be our opening. So, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Highly Logical Podcast. I am your senior co-host, Trevor Shelby. Joining me, like always, except for that one time, the junior co-host, Mr. Thomas Kennedy. And like always, we have Kristina Lee, future author, artist, and was it Mary Kay, I believe?
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And I have started shaving with the Mary Kay products. I can tell you that it works. So, so I had forgotten that's even what that was until you had mentioned it the other day. So yeah, no.
Two beards down on the show, man.
Yeah, two beards down. I am clean shaven. Look at that. Not even anything. That is clean. Babies' bottoms aren't even this clean because they're bottoms and it's gross and we're diapers. So, how is everybody this week?
Doing well.
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
I'm hoping to go out and see the Avengers in the drive-in.
Yeah.
We get done. Yeah.
Very cool.
I got a fish.
You got a fish? You went fishing or you bought a fish?
I bought a what do you call it? I can't think of the name of it. The fighting fish.
A bass.
A beta.
A beta. There you go. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah. I had a beta once, and I was awful to it.
Oh.
And it was one of those things that my mother bought. She set it up for me, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was a vase about yay big, and it had a plant in it, and you never feed the beta because the beta would just eat the roots, I guess. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But I was just told never to really feed the thing. So I never did. And I just kind of forgot it was a thing, and it got set behind a table, and it was horrible. Like it was awful in its little tank thing vase, and you couldn't see inside of it. Was so murky watered by the time I found it, and I thought, oh, that thing died a horrible death. So I found it while I was moving, which was even the worst part. I don't know how long it was behind that table, and so I'm like dumping the water out, and the fish falls out and it starts flopping around. It was still alive.
Oh my god!
That thing lasted like another 3 years. I put it on my desk at work.
Betas are durable fish. I mean,
yeah.
It's. I'm surprised. G and I had two, and of course, one would always die because it would beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah, they fight each other.
Why would you put them together?
You're not supposed to put them together.
It's Gina! You remember?
She's... Yeah.
Hopefully she doesn't watch this.
Yeah, she was an interesting person. But yeah.
Well, we named him Fisk because that's in Finnish, that's fish.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense.
But its nickname is Mr. What's the guy's name? I'm going blank today a lot. No, it's Fisk in the Marvel universe. Oh, Kingpin.
Oh,
we're gonna name Kingpin for nickname.
Oh, okay. Very cool. I always like Kingpin and the comics. I'm not really 100% of the movies.
The what is it? Which he's not a. Shut up! I'm gonna kick you in the nuts.
You can't kick that eye. Okay,
Whatever.
But yeah.
No, in the Daredevil series, on Netflix, man, he was an animal.
He was good.
Was he like he was in the comics where he was a big guy, but it was muscle. He was huge.
Yeah. There's one scene where he's benching 500 pounds.
Yeah.
He's the same guy that was in I believe it was Law and Order.
He was in Law and
Oh,
Order.
yeah. I did actually see that.
Yeah. No,
he's a
also
good actor.
He also played the alien from Men in Black.
Vincent D'Onofrio.
Yeah.
I think is his name. Yeah.
And he played Private Pile from Full Metal Jacket. You know, he's done a lot of movies. He was in Mystic Pizza.
Oh, I don't remember him in that.
He was Julia Roberts' boyfriend.
I thought you were saying he was Julia Roberts.
No, he wasn't. Not Julia Roberts. He was the boyfriend of the dark-haired one.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, Julia Roberts dated the yuppie guy.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. It's been so long since I've seen Mystic Pizza.
It's he was in an Edgar suit.
Speaking of mistaking people in movies, I have a confession to make. And I made a recommendation to Tom this week, and I have to call myself out on it because we were talking about Heath Ledger and his movies. And I was telling him, I was like, man, you've got to watch. We're kind of going back and forth. I'm not going to go why, because then everybody would hate Tom. But
I'm sorry. No.
No. So anyways, I was saying you need to watch the movie Timeline. It's a really good movie, and he's in it. And I was telling him about it. I was kind of going on about it. And I was thinking about, man, I would like to go back and watch that movie. And Heath Ledger is not in that movie.
Yeah, I was about to say, he's not in it. That's Hyde Pierce or something like that.
It's Timeline has the Paul Walker in it.
I was thinking of the Time Machine.
No, yeah, not the time. I was thinking of Timeline. I believe it's the Michael Crichton book turned into a movie.
Oh, okay.
And it, yeah.
Paul Walker.
I was within, range, I guess.
I said I hated Knight's Tale. And
yeah,
I didn't
you
really
did.
Care
I love Knight's
Tale.
Yeah,
see? Yeah.
It is so... Really? They do. We will rock you.
I know, but
they do.
Works.
And it works.
It doesn't.
It works because that's historically accurate. That is
it is not. That is not historically accurate.
And Alan Tudyk is in it, and I love him.
Yeah.
It doesn't take away. That's a horrible movie.
It's not a horrible movie. But
you just gotta love Heath Ledger more. You gotta love him more.
and I liked Heath Ledger in Batman.
Yeah.
Or not Batman. Which one was it? Dark Knight Returns or something like that.
It was the second one, I think.
Yeah, the second one.
Yeah.
Dark Knight.
The new second one with
episode 2.
But I liked him in that. That was amazing. But as far as 10 Things I Hate About You, nope, didn't like it.
Oh, it was such a good movie.
The only redeemable factor in that was
Julia Stiles.
Well, yes, Julia Stiles is hot, but no, Joseph Gordon-Ramsay.
Oh, Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, he's good in that.
And then I didn't like Knight's Tale.
Mm-hmm.
And the one thing that I think that would get me killed is the only good part in The Patriot he was in was when he died.
Oh, that's rough.
We're leaving that in. I was going to cut that. No, we're leaving it in.
I did not like him as an actor.
I don't really remember The Patriot very much, but I mean, he was supposed to be a young guy. I mean, how good can you be at playing a young, dopey guy?
I mean, he wasn't. I mean, he was played around the early 20s, in that frame, but I don't know. I just didn't like him.
Things were simpler back then, though. They weren't complex.
He was fighting the British.
Yeah. So.
Oh. Well.
Anyway.
I didn't mean to go down that road, but
or anything.
speaking of other things, like movies, did you know that they're not? No, I'm not doing that. Good Lord. So, who here likes The Princess Bride? I guess Tom probably hates it since he craps on lots of things.
I love
Love the
I love the
Princess
Princess
Bride.
Bride. It's such a
Okay.
good movie. Oh,
So,
I saw Carrie Elwes, and I
yeah,
actually got to ask him a question at a Comic-Con. It was pretty cool.
that's cool. Well, the director of that movie and a bunch of other like A-list actors and everybody that's kind of shut down in quarantine, they are doing a fan remake of The Princess Bride, and it's all done with cell phones, and they're finding like a lot of couples to act out the scenes together in the together scenes, and then they're finding people to do a part scenes, I guess you'd say. And just to kind of go over it,
I want to play Andre the Giant's part.
let's see. It's kind of like looking it over. Elijah Wood's in it. Patton Oswalt, Jack Black. I know Sophie Turner, Joe Jonas.
Of course, if Sophie's
Tiffany
in it,
Haddish.
Joe Jonas is going to be
Yeah.
in it.
Yeah,
They're a
and
couple.
they're a couple, and then I guess they have gender swapped in their part. So they're really putting it to the test. They're really kind of like changing it around.
That would be cool. That'd be funny.
Watched this podcast with Josh Gad in it, and it's reunited a part.
Yeah,
and they reunited the whole cast of Lord of the Rings except for Bilbo Baggins.
Yeah,
it was amazing.
Yeah,
he does this with all kinds of 80s movies and stuff like that.
Well, in this, Josh Gad is he's also in this,
Oh.
and he plays the little boy in like listening to the story.
Oh,
and
he plays Fred Savage.
Yeah,
oh my gosh,
yeah,
that's hilarious.
And Rob Reiner, the director, is the old man telling the story.
Oh,
and so it's they've got a trailer out for it, and it's gonna be I forget what it's not gonna be on. There's a it's not gonna be on like YouTube or anything, but it's gonna be on. Let me see if it says here. A platform called Quibi, Quibi.
Yeah, that's a new app that they've been working on, or that they released right at the time the quarantine hit.
Yeah.
That's gonna have like short series, like 15-minute series.
Yeah.
Options.
And I guess in honor of this, the Quibi people have made a $1 million donation to the World Central Kitchen to help feed families right now.
Oh,
so that's a pretty cool deal.
Great. Yeah.
I saw Hugh Jackman is in the film in this remake, and he's got he's in the trailer, and it's so bizarre because he's there, and I forget what scene he's doing, but he's got something on his head, and he is
it sounds like the Prince or something.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. And they're cutting to a crowd of people. Yeah.
It brings us together today.
Yeah. They're cutting to a crowd of people, and because they can't have a crowd of people, they've got Lego men on a Lego set. And it's all stop motion. So it looks
the dread
hilarious.
Pirate Roberts.
Yeah.
I have come for your soul.
I really liked
I saw something on Facebook that was like in Brazil, they made it to where they could have like a quarantine area, and that you can hug your relatives in the old age homes.
Yeah.
And it was like they just had the little arms in
like
plastic.
an arm. Yeah.
Yeah, and they'd hug the relatives. I thought that was so sweet.
Yeah. I seen that some people have done that here, where they just set it up in like their front yard. They can hug people.
It's a good idea.
It really is. I also saw where they had surprised someone's mother or grandmother, where they had typed it around their door frame. And so when they knocked on the door, the mom opened the door and was like, and then they hugged them. I thought that was pretty neat. From the trailer of this Princess Bride thing, it looks like it's pretty well done with cell phones. So pretty cool deal.
It was probably done pretty quickly, man, as it was done by different people.
Yeah.
So I was, I'm a big TikTok. I got 260 fans now.
Oh my gosh, you're going up there.
I just don't want to, but there's this guy. He calls himself the CEO of Facts. He's got his own podcast and he's on YouTube as well. He was saying something on one of his TikToks from I think it was yesterday. And it's actually a series. He's like, what if aliens weren't actually aliens? They were actually time travelers, human time travelers. And so they're not actually from other planets. They're actually from Earth, just distant time, way, way far in the future, because they look humanoid. Every description is they look humanoid, and they just have massive brains now. And they're, we've evolved to where we don't need genders anymore because they're all unisex. It seems like. So, but he's doing a series on that. So I mean, just look up CEO of Facts on YouTube, and he's got a lot of stuff there. He does things about the dark web too. Like he even ordered a box from the dark web. So. And
that's interesting. What's in the box?
One was there was like 4 items in the box. There was a supposedly a cursed photo album. There was a jewelry box which he refused to open, and then after that there was like 6 things, but he opened 2 of them and decided he wasn't going to open it because it creeped him out too much.
Interesting.
Yeah. But he's like, yeah, if you got a bunch of cryptocurrency, you can do whatever you want on the dark web.
See, we got Brian join us here.
Hey. Oh, still connecting audio.
Yeah.
Hey.
There he is.
I'm back, and I lost my caterpillar.
Oh my gosh.
Hell, why?
Because COVID. I had to wear a mask. I got a big bushy mustache. I'm not interested.
I have shaved as well, and
yes.
I made it very baby face today. So yeah,
it's very clean. I got told that I should have shaved all of it off and explained that I didn't want to look like a 12-year-old again. So that happened. I'll go with the Iron Maiden look more over the evil Mr. Rogers.
I'm starting to resemble my high school senior pictures. They're awful.
You're starting to resemble your dad.
And I need a haircut, but I am not brave enough to go do it yet. I may just do it again. I've done it before.
Yeah.
I may just shave it all and
see. There's nothing enough for me to grow back, so it'd be pointless for me to stop shaving my head.
Yeah.
Anyway. So
I've never shaved my head.
I've told Shelly if she ever decided to shave her head that I'd still love her.
Yeah. Well, you don't know if you have a misshapen head or not, so
It's true. I lucked out.
I'm letting my hair grow back out because it just doesn't look right on me.
You've got, you look like woolly mammoth over there, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. I need to. I didn't put any beard balm in it this morning, so it's. Yeah.
Like an afro.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I'm not gonna let it get too bad. But Wednesday, red, white, and blue beard.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's gonna be temporary. It's not gonna be permanent.
You know what was temporary and almost permanent? 2009.
And
on the toilet seat. No, on a toilet seat.
Why you got to bring that up, man? Why you got to bring up
this? Is a story we need to hear this. I think.
So for New Year's of 2000, was it New Year's 2009 or it was 2008 and turning 2009?
It was 2000. It's 2007 going to 2008.
Was it? I thought it
Yeah.
was a 9. Are you sure? I really remember seeing a 9 on that toilet.
That's because the part of the 8 was off of the side.
That's true. Part of the 8 was on your inner cheek.
Yeah.
So to celebrate the turn of the year, we wrote 2008 apparently on Buddha's ass with a Sharpie, which he then immediately forgot about the next morning and went and used my bathroom. And when I came in, there was a celebratory 8 on the toilet seat. Almost forever. That took a lot of scrubbing to get that blue marker off.
It was your brother-in-law who did it, man.
Oh, that's great.
That's true.
Wow.
What can I say? It's what you get when you have family like I do.
Yeah, true. So, my big news about that I was waiting for Brian.
Yeah. Go with it.
The DC Universe is about to have 2 Batmans at once.
What?
Yes.
Not just 2 Batmans, but
an original Michael Keaton, who's going to play Thomas Wayne in Flashpoint from in the Flash series, because Flash goes back and changes history, and Tom survives instead of Bruce.
Which, to add to that real quick, if you watched the cartoon that DC put out for Flashpoint, Thomas Wayne is one mean dude, and Thomas Wayne doesn't have qualms with killing anybody. Thomas Wayne hunts as Batman with a gun.
Yeah.
And then, of course, everyone knows about Robert Pattinson, which, he's going to be Batman in Batman.
As long as he doesn't shimmer.
Yeah.
I would have like the only people that was like not dreading that, I guess, because when they said he was gonna be it, I was like, that's cool. At least there's a Batman at this point.
True. That's true. At least there is a Batman. I don't know. I still think you could stick Kevin Conroy in a mask and put him on screen, and nobody would really care. We just want to hear his voice. He's the one that was the voice for the Batman animated series.
Yeah.
I think your idea, which was put Michael Keaton in the new Batman and make it like a Batman and Beyond type thing. But
stop redoing Batman and do something else. The Batman Beyond thing would work right now just because there's enough angsty teenagers anyways that you'd have a demographic.
Exactly.
The whole Batman story has been told so many times. It's like Spider-Man now. They've done Spider-Man too many times, and like the whole like beginning point for Spider-Man.
Well, I mean, they even changed his origin story in the Amazing Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, which I'm not even sure which one that is. So
the Andrew Garfield one.
Oh yeah, I'm not sure if I watched that one.
I don't think I.
Wait, how did they change it? He was still bitten by a radioactive spider, wasn't he?
Well, he had to have mechanism shoot the web.
Well, that's actually more canon because the comic book character had web slingers. He didn't have the Tobey Maguire is the one that had the weird glandular.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also his parents were still alive.
Well,
I don't know enough Spider-Man history to know about his parents. I just know that it was Aunt May who got hot, by the way.
Yeah.
She's only gotten better since Sally Field. Not that I have anything against Sally Field, but I'm just saying. Sally Field 20 years ago when I was a kid and an adolescent is different than Sally Field now.
Yeah.
He wasn't living with Aunt May, I don't think, in Amazing Spider-Man.
I don't know. I think that's one of them I missed.
He was?
That was Sally Field.
No, that was just Spider-Man.
I'm confused.
You're
talking about Andrew Garfield?
Maguire. No, I'm.
Oh, Tobey Maguire? No, Tobey Maguire was old Aunt May.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
I know that much.
Andrew Garfield is the one I'm talking about, but I thought
Sally
Field was
Marissa Tomei.
Yeah, Marissa Tomei.
Marissa Tomei is current Aunt May, who played in Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man.
An old lady.
Yeah, it was Aunt May.
I mean, she was beautiful back in probably like the 50s and 60s and 70s, but like she's no later at this point. Like, I mean,
well,
I'm just saying, like, I don't know her name. I guess it's not. It wasn't Helen Mirren.
I guess I just got my Aunt May's wrong. Besides, Marissa Tomei, which I've been in love with since I was 12.
Yeah, that's true. She has probably aged the best of all of them.
Who hasn't been in love with Marissa Tomei?
I
She's
don't
so
know.
wholesome.
Except for when she played
the
the
movie
stripper
with
in the Wrestler.
Robert Downey Jr. It was what was that movie? It was such a sweet movie where it was about fate, and he was supposed to be the one for her when he pretends to be somebody else that she was supposed to meet.
That sounds like a lot of movies.
Something Kiss, something like that. It was a really good movie.
I have a feeling my wife might know what movie that is, but I don't.
Yeah.
Hold on. I'll.
Oh, here you go.
Leave it up to the resident IMDb expert.
Yeah.
Tommy's on it.
While he looks that up, I'd like to bring up that Star Trek is coming out with their new series, The Strange New Worlds. It's part of the Star Trek Discovery kind of universe thing they got going on, and they got Captain Pike and Spock, and it's Enterprise. It's like real, cool stuff going on. If you've watched Discovery, which I've seen, I believe they've only had 2 seasons so far, and I've watched those. They've made a lot of changes, especially to it's a kind of a shock if you haven't seen their Klingons yet. Their Klingons are way different than Klingons from like Next Generation or even the original series. But
what about the reboot Klingons?
That's what I'm saying. It's from the Discovery series. Oh, you're talking about the reboot movies? I'm not 100%. But this series, it's following Captain Pike and Spock, who were on the 2nd season of Discovery, and throughout the whole season, because Pike takes command of the ship Discovery, and you really got a good sense of the guy that they got to play him, and it was excellent. Even the guy that got to play Spock, he's spot on Spock. He's like really good. And so I was really hoping they would do a series like this with just them without all the Discovery madness, because that's a whole nother show to talk about. I like Discovery, but it's also really, really a bizarre show, Star Trek wise. But yeah, no, this is kind of a cool deal. I'm excited about it. So we'll see where that kind of goes. It's kind of expanding, like who's the best captain.
So does Discovery take place in the post Vulcan being destroyed universe? In I guess the J.J. Abrams universe?
It
happens before then.
This is it is more canon to with the TV shows, because this is all CBS.
Okay.
And
this is when Pike commanded the Enterprise before Kirk took over.
And so they have Discovery, which is their like top of the line ship that has a new type of way that it doesn't go into like, oh, Only You is the movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's a new way for them to travel. They can instantaneously go from point A to point B instead of using warp speed, basically. And
fold space. All right, nice.
Yeah, basically. But they realized by season 2, like spoiler alert, if you don't want to hear it, I'll be vague. There's a reason you don't want to do it.
Yeah.
So
generally there is.
Yeah.
It's generally always been widely accepted as a bad idea to fold 2 points of space together without some form of consequence. So yeah,
right.
I got that.
So and they do play with alternate universes in this show, which is a lot of fun.
I like that.
Because you could have characters that die and characters that come back, and you don't know what's going on. It's kind of a madness show, but I really like it. It doesn't feel like Star Trek to me, though. It feels like a really good sci-fi series. It doesn't feel like Star Trek, though.
Star Trek has a really good sci-fi series. What are you talking about?
I know, but like Star Trek to me, like when you're watching Star Trek, you're gonna, you've got your central cast, and you've got like, they're going on this mission and they're gonna do this. With Star Trek Discovery, they spend like a whole season of like avoiding Starfleet altogether, and they are like on the run, basically. And so it's crazy. I don't know how else to
Starfleet
explain it.
Blade Runner.
Yeah, basically.
You want to know a really good show that's it's called Dark Matter. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's really good.
Yeah.
I haven't watched the second season, but the first season was really awesome.
Yeah.
I believe that's on Netflix, right?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, I think I started watching that, or I finished. I can't remember. I
It's
was
really
watching
good.
I was watching a lot of weird TV shows and binge watching them for a couple months. So.
I did branch out, and we watched. I shouldn't say branch out. My wife and I did watch Space Force, and we accidentally blew through the entire season and didn't realize that we were on the last episode.
Yeah,
which is horrifyingly disappointing.
Which
with the way that episode ends.
Brian, don't ruin it. He hasn't seen it.
I'm not going to say anything. My point was just that they did that really well for a comedy show. To do a cliffhanger isn't really a easy thing to pull off,
right?
Especially when it's such a parody of reality. It was really, I really did enjoy it because it doesn't take things to the point where they're absurd. It just takes them to the point of the most realistic extreme that you could think of. That's completely bonkers. And
I need to watch it.
A monkey lost in space.
The monkey part where they're trying to get to fix the satellite is the most amazing episode. I just love the fact that they had him out there and they're like, he's doing it.
Because I watched that entire series in 2 days, and I'm told I watched it too fast and didn't let it sink in.
Yeah, you gotta let it savor a little.
I thought it was funny, but I didn't think it was. I don't know.
I think that's where if you take it too seriously, it can be very annoying. If you try to watch it like at The Office, it's not that unrealistic.
Right.
I mean, even it is, but it isn't, right? Like, given maybe the current political climate, I mean,
Boots
these things
on
just
the
don't.
Let's all move.
But
I mean, some stuff, it's funnier to make fun of reality than to make up some shit, right? So, like, it's just like, tragedy is the best source of comedy. Reality is the next best source. And if all you've got to do is dial it from, like, 5 to, like, 5.5, and that's where you're at with that. Like, if you just took how today is, and if we had the ability to put boots on the moon, there'd be boots on the moon. There would be.
Yeah.
It's an orange guy in a very big white house that would have boots on the moon if he could have boots on the moon.
Well, I went in the show not expecting The Office. I didn't have that mindset going into it. And that was the number one gripe I see people say is, it's nothing compared to The Office, or it's this.
Maybe that's
not The Office.
Maybe that's the reason why I said it felt like The Office, because I posted, I was like, I'm going to see what this is all about, and then people were like, it's, trying too hard to be like The Office. So I went in there thinking it was going to be like The Office.
Yeah.
I've never even seen The Office.
Oh. I'm so sorry.
In my own heart, I have to say I have never watched all of The Office either. But my daughter has. So no, I haven't. I've watched several episodes. I've watched multiple seasons. It's funny. It's just not my kind of gig.
Yeah.
It's a little too ridiculous.
I don't know if I would have liked it either, because
one of my friends from Europe swore to me that the American Office was awful. Never watch it. Never, ever watch it. It's awful. Watch the European Office. And I tried to, and I was like, it's okay. And I thought, well, if the U.S. version is not as good as this, then that's terrible. And so I did not watch The Office until about a year ago. And Megan and I, we watched like a couple episodes, and then it was like, a whole blur of Office, and then like a week later we were done.
Wow.
My daughter's probably watched it from start to finish probably 4 to 5 times in the last 2 years.
I did that with Stranger Things, the third season.
I've only seen the first season of it. So.
It's really good.
Yeah.
It
no
is.
Spoilers, because I don't do spoilers.
Yeah.
It is. I haven't seen the third season.
I get very angry when people do that.
But Brian, you know, Trevor told us about that show, Space Force, and he hasn't finished it yet. We have, and you know why he hasn't finished it? He's blaming you.
Yes, I am blaming you. It's completely your fault, Brian.
Oh, please tell me why that.
I am now in the second season of Sword Art Online.
Okay, wait. So the second season, not the second series, then, right? Not into the Gun Gale stuff.
No. I'm in Gun Gale right now.
You are? Okay.
Yeah. No.
Gun Gale's my least favorite.
Yeah.
Up until the end.
Mm-hmm. And
or maybe any scene that Kirito whips out the thing.
Yeah. So I've blown through in Netflix it's just season 1. I don't know what it is, if it's series 1. But I blew through that. Now I've got to the gun game stuff, and I've slowed down just a little bit because it's way different.
Yeah, it is.
And I kind of like the fantasy of the other, and this is more like, and it's purposeful. It's first-person shooter, but it's not as good. I got where he started a tournament basically, and he's got the little laser swords. So now I'm kind of like, okay, I can kind of dig this a little.
Okay, that if you haven't watched him use that for the first time, that's actually really cool.
Yeah, because
it's the beauty of that is his character set stays the same in any game he goes into, which is kind of unique to only him. They don't really ever go into it, but you'll notice that as it goes in, like he has a certain skill that he just basically has in every game, and somehow it's tied to his brain.
Yeah. And
well, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I've looked into it because Netflix only has like the 2 seasons, and I was trying to see if there was more, and I guess there is, but it's just not. Like, I've been watching the dubbed version, so there's not a dubbed version for what would be season 3.
There is.
And I guess there's a spin-off or something that they've done as well.
There is. So there's actually a movie that came out in, I don't know, probably 2018 probably. There was and it's a wholly separate game that's all encompassed in that movie. And it is, instead of it being like this helmet, it is augmented reality. So you are out in the real world, and when the game starts, then you put your little eye visor thing on, and it projects then into your retina or whatever, and so the rest of the world looks like it does to you. And the interesting thing is that the people are then having to actually be physical. Some of them don't do so well.
Yeah.
That movie is Cardinal Scale is what that one's called. It's neat. It was okay. It was kind of like a bizarre way to do a video game, and like they couldn't have made a series out of that. It just wouldn't have worked.
Yeah.
It wasn't. But the third one, actually, there are English dub episodes. They just aren't available on Netflix. There are some other places you can get them from that I won't say out loud necessarily, because some of them are not necessarily legit.
Yeah.
But as long as you don't mind dealing with ads, you can there's a couple different free places you can get them that from. I wanted to ask you if you'd looked into that Knights of Sidonia yet.
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
I started rewatching that, and I had a couple questions. So have you watched Battlestar Galactica, the reboot?
Yeah, I love that.
Okay. If when you get through your Sword Art Online feast, give it a try, because about the first, I think I want to say it's like episode 4 or 3 or 4. I've started rewatching it again. Has very big Battlestar Galactica feel when it comes to the always being hunted.
Yeah.
Like that every 22-minute episode where they were constantly always every time.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's the same kind of thing. Like, so many Vipers go out minus so many come back.
Right.
It's the same thing with these. And I did remember a couple extra things. They're called guards, not just mechs, but the main character uses one called the Sugimori, and the reason why he can use it is because it's analog, basically, versus digital. He doesn't know how to use the newer ones. But no, I wanted to check and see if you'd had a chance to watch any of that one yet. I still highly suggest that one. That was the Netflix's first little anime that they did on their own. And they did a real good job on it. So when you get a chance to get through Sword Art Online, you should check that one out next. And then you should also, if you do like the Sword Art Online, look up the Fate Stay or Fate Stay Night stuff. That's also on Netflix. They have kind of a similar feel, only instead of it being a video game, it's magic summoned souls.
Okay.
It's kind of an interesting twist. They're all legendary heroes, so they're names that you would recognize from myth and lore, coming back and doing battle in like a tournament setting. It's kind of a neat series, and there's a bunch of different tellings of it. They kind of spin off different ways. So
very cool. Have you guys ever watched Farscape?
Yeah, I watched some of it.
Yeah,
it was good. I liked it.
I really like that series. I actually named my cat after the ship Moya, and the one thing I liked about that series was he had the little robots that would help like repair things around the ship, and they were like little Roombas, basically. And so I would like to at some point kind of get the I've got a couple of old Roomba carcasses that I want to put
Roomba
down.
Carcasses?
Yeah. I've gone through Roombas, okay? I've gone through Roombas. Accidents have happened and Roombas have died, okay? And I think
they're not battle bots, dude.
okay. So it was nothing as fantastic as a battle. I wish it was, but so I was thinking if I combine all these parts, I could like make what might look like, like make a full Roomba because they're about the same, and I would like to see if I could kind of like model it like the outside and make it look like one of the little
Franken Roomba.
Well, yeah. I'm either gonna do that, make it look like the Farscape creature thing or the little Roomba guy that runs around to fix the ship, or I'm going to make it DJ Roomba and I'm going to put a speaker on it and connect it Bluetooth and it'll go room to room just playing music. So
that's cool. It's like a butler musician.
Yes. The only downside is they're so loud, but
so make it louder. That's what you do. Put some broken glass in it. That way it scares the shit out of people when it comes in the room.
So you're gonna have it like connected to your Alexa or something?
Yeah, that'd be amazing. Or just I got a Google Home or whatever it's called, Google something. It's like the Alexa, but it's from Google.
Yeah.
And they sent it to me for free. And I thought, I got to do something with that. And so I wonder if I could take it apart and somehow incorporate this inside the Roomba. I don't know.
I mean, it's just a shell in the end. So
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
sure,
it really
right?
is. I'm sure I could do something. So battery pack, Roomba, I got this. So we'll see.
Well, now you can't say no Roombas were hurt during the shooting of this.
They were
at least two Roombas were hurt.
2 Roombas were very hurt.
One of them is completely unrecognizable now.
Yes.
Don't know what to tell his family, but
gone into the witness protection.
I've actually got a big bag. It's like this big canvas bag, and it's just filled with Roomba stuff. It's just pieces of Roomba, and because I've taken them apart because I was interested, and did you know that Roombas are very interchangeable? Like all their pieces are kind of like plug and play. So if something breaks on your Roomba, you take it apart, and like the little spinny brush that's on the side of a Roomba, you could just take that out and put a new one in. You don't have to connect wires or anything. It's just you're done.
Slap and go. So it's.
So, anyways, this is what you discover when you take them apart. So
What was that quote? I never really understood how people work until I took one apart.
yeah.
No.
But that's pretty much with Roombas. But you know what's funny is if you break your Roomba for whatever reason you broke it, if you call their company, they won't fix it for you because you fucked it up. But what they will do is they will give you a huge discount on a new one. And they've done that for me for 2 Roombas so far.
At least 2
Well,
Roombas.
at least 2. Our new Roomba, I'd say our newest Roomba, it's a good one. It's for pets. So it picks up pet hair and all that. And I'm kind of worried that there's something wrong with it because it started speaking French like randomly. And so it's like error it to and I'm like, what is going on? It's so random, but it is it's
Et tu? Is it think it's Julius Caesar?
Yeah, something. I don't know. I was just making crap up.
That's Latin.
A la piscine. I am a swimming pool. So, but yeah,
I have a Bob. We never got a Roomba. We got a Bob. Yeah.
That's probably what we should do.
He sits in his corner. He's a bad robot. He didn't really do a good job. He couldn't go in the corners,
Yeah. We got a Brava, which is the Roomba's brother that mops. I call him Dr. Brava because he does so much work around here. He had to have gotten a degree for what he does. And so you put the little wet wipes on the bottom and it just runs around and mops your floor. So I'm very lazy when it comes to cleaning my floors.
I'm surprised you haven't gotten the Roomba lawnmower yet.
Yeah, no. I'll get out there and push my own mower. I actually like mowing.
No, that's the thing I hate the most. I mean, I'm willing to spend more per year on someone else mowing my lawn than I am a fucking Roomba.
You just get a
I'll
riding
sweep
lawnmower.
all day long, but fuck mowing. It's hot.
Get a riding lawnmower. Those are fun.
Now, I will say, you're all right. It's been too hot. Way too hot.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Riding lawnmowers are great unless you're in an acre or like a quarter acre yard where you can't even turn fast enough not to slam into the fence from one side to the other. So, plus I may be always driving 5th gear. That probably it's more like a rally track when I'm done with it than it does a yard, but that's fine,
Yeah, you just go out there, you sit in your lawnmower, you start drinking a beer. And it starts getting cooler and you don't mind the heat.
When I was a kid,
I don't know about that.
When I was a kid, I made money by mowing lawns, and a lot of kids do. Well, a guy at my church had a hedge maze. He had a huge hedge maze. It was a couple acres, and he did really well taking care of it. It was very well sculpted hedges, and I would go out there and mow, but it's a hedge maze. So I would get out there and I would get lost. And I'd be like driving down. I'd be like, nope, I've already been this way. Nope. And I would mow I'd mow all day there. And then I would go to leave and he'd be like, you only got about half of it. And I'm like, I don't know. I kept getting turned around. I run into a dead end. And so, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was fun though. That's like a very crazy
labyrinth.
Yeah, it's kind of.
It was fun in kind of the summertime, The Shining kind of way.
Yeah.
There's an old man yelling at me for not mowing it well enough, and it's so hot. I mean, it's some kind of weird Stephen King nightmare. I don't know about that.
I did hit a
rattlesnake. I
rattlesnake.
want to go that way.
Just think about the labyrinth, though.
Yeah.
It was magical.
I had stopped.
The labyrinth. Oh man, they're coming out with a sequel to it.
Oh, they are, aren't they?
Oh no.
But the Goblin King's dead.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I need to take 2 seconds here. Did anyone listen to David Bowie's last album? Black Star. If you've never listened to an album about someone that knew they were dying, listen to that album. It is the most bizarre. It's a great album. It's really good.
Mhm.
I mean, typical late, mid 2000s David Bowie album. But it's like Ziggy Stardust knew he was dying.
Yeah.
And he's going back into the cosmos. You need to, check that out.
Speaking of, I actually saw Tom Petty in concert in his last tour before he passed away.
I was just reminded that he passed away like a month ago, and I'm still sad about it.
I know, it breaks my heart. I love him. I listen to him all the time.
I want back now.
Free, free falling.
Oh God. That's
Listen,
one of the things
Sister
I
Christian.
regret not going to. I always thought I'll go to Tom Petty another time.
Yeah, because you think he's going to be like Keith Richards and was going to live forever, but
no, it's so sad.
It's one of the reasons I probably went out and saw the Beach Boys. What's left of them? I was like the youngest person there.
oh man.
I'm signed up to see Elton John, but they postponed the concert.
Yeah.
But they didn't cancel it though, so that's nice.
Yeah,
I heard that Elton John and Billy Joel was a really epic show here in Tulsa when they came by.
Oh.
My wife and some friends went to that. They said that was really, really good watching both of them guys play.
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
Awkward silence.
I've got my dog in the corner there.
I know. I was watching that.
He looked so sad. He kept bringing me toys, and I've been throwing them under the desk so he would go run and play. And now he got up there and he is pouting. So he's very sad.
He just looks sad.
He just wants attention.
Yeah.
Just like every animal and child in the house. Yes. Just wants attention.
Yep. I've got plenty of animals and children. So we're actually getting more animals. I was alerted to yesterday. We're getting geckos now.
So now you got like 12 dogs, 30 cats, 120 chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now geckos?
Yeah, 2 geckos. Friend of a friend, I guess, is getting rid of them or something. I don't know.
Are you sure you're not a part of Joe Exotic Zoo?
Yeah. No, my roommate Megan, she
my roommate Megan.
she decided that it's a friend of hers, I think, that it's her friend's kids' geckos. I don't know. So this is what they did yesterday, okay? And this is why I'm the bad guy here, because I questioned it. I saw Megan and my daughter Natalie out on the back deck talking, and
that's always a bad thing.
They were very like into it talking, and I was like, okay, something's going on, but let them handle it. I'll cook. I was cooking at the time, so they come in, and Megan's like, we want to talk to you about something, and I was like, okay, and Megan goes, well, we think that Natalie can have these 2 geckos that my friend is getting rid of. And I'm like, I wasn't in the conversation. Maybe you should have talked to me first. But so she involved Natalie first to get to play on my heartstrings, because now Natalie's like, and so
Natalie's 15. She shouldn't have pull at that.
I caved. I was like, yeah, fine, you have them. Well, it's fine, whatever.
You got to be really careful about cats and geckos.
Yeah, you would think, but
they don't mix.
The geckos eat crickets and the cats eat geckos, I guess. I don't know. We'll see how this works out. I don't know.
Circle of life.
Circle of life, yes.
My sister-in-law Casey has a baby duck now because the hospital she works at, there's a pond behind it. They had to call the fire department to rescue the mama duck and several little ducklings.
Oh, wow.
And one of the ducklings kept getting left behind and kept running back to my sister-in-law. So she ended up putting it back in the water with his family, ran up the hill, and it chased her up the hill. And then 2 hours later, she went back outside, and it was by itself. So now she has 2 cats, 2 dogs, and a 2-day-old baby duck.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah, I saw Trent's snap story on that.
Yes.
that is so cute.
It is. It's adorable. What the fuck do you do with a baby duck in the middle of suburbia?
Friends, you know.
And they'll bond for a lifetime. Like they will bond with a person for life. Apparently, we actually have a veterinarian that's a friend of ours, and she said they actually make great pets. They're very loving. They're very loyal, and they will stick with you.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
My sister had 2
care
ducks.
animal.
My sister had 2 ducks, and they were assholes. they were awful animals, and like one of them was okay. The other one, that she got them a little swimming pool, like a kiddie pool for them to swim in. Well, one duck murdered the other duck, like got on them and forced them into the water and drowned the other duck.
Oh my god.
And so,
Wow.
yeah. So then they were like, we can't live with a murderous duck. So they found a home for their like psycho duck.
Aw. Poor duck.
Yeah. Apparently, serial killers and stuff isn't just us. So
Some hidden beef there we didn't know about.
yeah. There was one duck said something about the other duck's mom, I guess. I don't know. It was they were wanting duck eggs, and that don't ask me. I don't know. It was a whole strangeness, but yeah, after the one duck killed the other, they got rid of it, and they swore it off. They're never getting a duck again.
Duck eggs are delicious.
Yeah, I've never had them.
They are.
They
Fresh,
taste like
fresh
chicken.
duck eggs. No, they kind of have a different taste to them than chicken eggs, and they're bigger.
I know quail eggs are small and tasty.
Yeah. Well, does anyone have anything else to talk about?
I have a Florida man.
You have a Florida man?
Yeah. Would you like to hear it?
Yeah. Do you want me to do an intro?
No, we wouldn't actually.
Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum.
Why, thank you. And welcome to tonight's news. And from Florida, man is arrested after visiting a McDonald's he's already been banned from. Why, you ask? Because he stripped down naked and humped the railing at the McDonald's. Like full-on sexual activities with the outside railing.
What?
And they arrested him.
Oh well.
Yeah.
That's
So he
good.
got banned again and arrested.
What did he get banned the first time for?
I have no idea. That
You have no idea.
Apparently that railing was coming onto him awfully strong.
Yeah.
And this
That's
happened
so bizarre.
June of last year. This
I-
June, it had been hot.
Yeah.
in Florida. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus, who in the Everglades is screwing a lamppost in the middle of a McDonald's in the middle of June?
I don't know, man.
Yeah, but have you seen those posts at McDonald's? I mean,
They were asking for it.
they were
right?
asking for it. It was like you got a color on like that. That's I don't know where I'm going.
I don't know
I'm
either.
victim blaming here, and I'm.
Looking like a red bent over caterpillar.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah.
Has
Yeah.
anyone ever been kicked out of anywhere, like banned from something?
Oh, not
Technically-
banned. No.
No.
Not banned. I've been kicked out, but yeah.
I was banned by our local Walmart when I was a kid.
You were too. I was fixing
Yes.
to say. I got banned by the local Walmart for shoplifting.
Yeah, not shoplifting.
I got arrested.
Well, we knocked somebody over, and we used to play a game in Walmart, and we would have a list. You would list like the product name. You'd go through Walmart and list the product name, and so it would just be like you didn't have to go in and say exactly what it was. It could just be like, Joe's tractor or something. And so if that was a toy, all you had to put was Joe's tractor, and like people would have to go around, like the other team would have to find Joe's tractor with their cart. They'd have to push it around. Well, the goal of the game was to find everything on the opposing list, which you'd have like maybe 20 items.
It was a scavenger hunt.
Yeah, scavenger hunt basically. And you couldn't get any help from Walmart employees. And the first person back to the McDonald's was the person that won. Well, we got kind of competitive. And so we had like a couple teams going on, and it was like this was like a regular thing. Like it was boring in Choctaw. So we got down to the very end of the game that we were playing, and we hit like the main aisle at Walmart, and we're about to go straight to the opposite end. There is the McDonald's, and we're starting to walk that direction, and the other team hits the aisle. And we see they got all their stuff, and we just start running. Everyone's running with their carts. Well, this old lady pushes her cart out the main aisle, and she was obviously in our way, and we were in the right to hit her. She didn't look when she came in the aisle, and so we hit her, and we won, and the other team lost. And yeah, then we were asked to never come back to Walmart. No cops were called, though.
I was kicked out of Penn Square Mall.
Mm.
Me and a friend of mine and a friend of his and a couple of his fraternity brothers in college, we were running down from between the Disney store and the movie theater,
Mm-hmm.
singing stupid songs and running and skipping and acting a fool. And they actually called the cops on us for some reason. They had the cops escort us out, like Oklahoma City PD was, we need you to leave.
You said it was Penn Square?
Yeah.
That makes sense. That's like a ritzy mall back then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, true. It was. It wasn't like it is now, where it's like, Crossroads.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. Crossroads
Yeah, it's
Mall.
gone down it's gone down the hill a little bit.
Mm-hmm. When I was in high school, we went to Penn Square Mall. We were at the Oklahoma City Fairgrounds for a cattle show, and we decided that just one day we were just going to go over there. And we show up, and we'd spent the whole weekend there at the fairgrounds, and so we smell awful. We're wearing shit kickers. We got, we look awful. We're like covered in crap. So we go up there, and the guy I'm with, like the adult in this group, got a huge deal of chew in his mouth. And every plant he walks by, those fake plants they got throughout the mall, he just spitting in them.
Oh.
And all these people are like watching us as we go by. It was so funny. I was like, these people that don't know what to do with us. I'm surprised we didn't get kicked out. It was so funny though. He spit in every plant in that mall, it seemed like.
What?
Yeah.
If you've had a friend and you grabbed the wrong pop bottle before,
Oh yeah.
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 It's such a gross thing to do.
it's harsh. It's real harsh. I've tried
But you can
once, and I've tried dip before, and they're both just not made for me.
You can lose your jaw.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Terrible.
There was
Did you know that Sigmund Freud actually had part of his jaw like missing, and they had like some kind of prosthetic?
Oh wow.
Because he smoked cigars all the time.
Mm-hmm. There was a guy that was at our cattle shows that he was like he would come up and be like, you know why you don't dip? And then he'd pull out his like jaw,
mandible.
Basically. Yeah. Oh. And it was like, oh, okay, I'm never dipping. I'm never dipping.
When I was growing up, we had a place up at Grand Lake,
Mm-hmm.
And the guy whose trailer was next to us, he was a 60, 70-year-old man.
Yeah.
He'd always have a big chaw in his mouth. It was like sticking out that far. I mean, he stuck a whole bag of chew in his mouth.
Mm-hmm.
and keep it there all day.
No way.
Couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be prudent.
It's basically the eclipse that they had not too long ago on June 21st, the solar eclipse. It was in this picture's in Pune, India, and it's basically the bamboo trees are reflecting the solar eclipse.
Yeah.
And then so there's like a whole bunch of them, and because it's like the snapshot was taken close to the time of the maximum eclipse in Pune, when the moon covered about 60% of the sun's diameter. But in annular eclipse, the moon is silhouette, completely surrounded by a bright solar disk at maximum, and it could be seen along a narrow path where the moon's dark shadow crossed Central Africa, South Asia, and China.
Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. So when a solar eclipse, if you don't have the equipment, like you don't have the glasses, you just stare at a piece of paper on the ground.
Yeah. In this case, you can see it multiple times all over the ground for the bamboo.
It's pretty cool. So I've got some affirmation stuff.
Yeah.
I talked about it last time in episode 6.
Yeah.
I figured I'd revisit it a little bit. I've actually got a definition and then a little bit of scientific evidence, so people will know they're not blowing smoke up their ass.
There you go. That's always good.
And
I hate smoke there.
It's just not fun. Fortunately, positive affirmations are almost as easy to define as they are to practice. Put simply, they're positive phrases or statements used to challenge negative or unhelpful thoughts. Practicing positive affirmations can be extremely simple, and all you need to do is pick a phrase and repeat it to yourself. It can help you boost your self-esteem. It can motivate yourself, and there's a scientific theory. It's called self-affirmation theory, and there's been empirical studies done that maintain our sense of self-integrity by telling ourselves what we believe in positive ways. And so you practice daily, several times a day, and the brain has the pathways, and it strengthens pathways when you do repetition. The strong pathways of the positive thoughts get stronger than the negative thoughts, and the negative thoughts kind of just weaken, and eventually you don't access them anymore. So here's a couple of affirmations. I never give up. I enjoy life to the fullest. I accept others for who they are. I commit to learning new things, and I endeavor to be the best that I can be. So those are pretty good ones.
Yeah.
And you just repeat those a couple times a day, and eventually it just becomes the truth in your brain. You just start to believe them.
Yeah.
I also have a writers group now. It's called the Oklahoma Women's Writers Group. I took it over in June.
Oh, okay.
The first meeting is July 11th at 7 p.m. It's a Saturday. It's free to go up on Meetup, and you can check it out. And yes?
I don't have the right parts for that.
Yeah, sorry, it's for women, But if you know any women writers, send them my way, Sorry to exclude. It was that way before I picked it up. So
you could always
I
change the name.
That. Yeah, I might change that. So
I do it all the time on Facebook.
we have a limit of 10 people, and donations are welcome at paypal.me/2celtickittens. And if you want to contact me about it, it's 2celtickittens@gmail.com or KristinaHall100@gmail.com. And I wanted to talk briefly about a couple of Mary Kay products.
Oh yeah.
There is a new mascara. It's called Panorama mascara. It's awesome. New lip balm that's pH. According to your pH, it changes colors. It's pretty cool. There's two, and guys can wear them just as much as girls can wear them. It gives you nice, pretty color.
Like when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
And we have a new lipstick,
time you went to
Paparazzi Pink. And then we have some sun products. We have a replenishing gel, subtle tanning lotion, and sunscreen, which is actually SPF 50. It's pretty good. And we have the men's line, a facial wash, shaving foam, advanced facial hydrator, and sunscreen, SPF 30, and an eye cream, an advanced eye cream. So
I'm living proof of the
yes,
shaving
got
product.
Nice shave stuff.
Yes, yes.
So guys, feel welcome to contact me at KristinaHall100@gmail.com. I've got 2 recipes. I made the best carrot cake ever, and it is the best carrot cake
Where's
ever.
mine? You said you were going to send it to me.
I did not say I was going to send it to you.
I remember you said.
And then it wouldn't be any good to send it to you after that. Like, it'd be stale.
Oh, that's great.
But yeah, the best carrot cake ever it's actually pretty good. It's got pineapple in it, which is unusual, and walnuts. I don't think that the original carrot cakes have that.
Yeah.
But
I've
it's
seen a couple
actually pretty
recipes with
good.
pineapple in it before.
Oh,
Pineapple
okay.
and
Well,
raisins,
I ended up having a very dry cake mix, and I was just like, because I wasn't gonna put the pineapples in it, I thought it was weird.
Mm-hmm.
And then I ended up doing that and putting the pineapple juice in there, and it came out perfect. It was just amazing. And then there's also, they can contact me if they want the recipe, but and then there's also like a 15 bean soup. It's amazing. It's vegan, so
Is that the thing you brought over for
vegan.
Megan?
Oh yeah, it was one of the things.
Some?
Yeah, I think
she
I brought
loved
over
that.
some. Yeah, it's great. Like, because as a vegetarian, beans
I get to
are
partake in these things. You see.
your staple. Yeah, I cook stuff for Megan all the time.
But it's only 15 beans. That's the whole serving. Is 15
but
beans.
there's a lot of beans, and it's just amazing.
You have to count out 15 beans.
You get bored. No, not just 15. It's just 15 kinds of beans. But yeah, it's really good because vegetarians subsist off beans, and it gives you a little bit of a variety, because you get sick of the same old beans over and over again. So that's all I've got, really.
Speaking of cooking, I got a new air fryer.
Yeah, I bet that thing's cool.
Yeah, it's a big one. I did not expect it to be as big as it is. And my old air fryer almost burned my house down. So I was cooking one day, and, and I'm a great cook, by the way. But I left the air fryer. It was in the kitchen, which is not that far. I sat in this spot. Kitchen is like right over there. Okay, so not that far. So I was going to work, blah blah blah, and I was waiting for my lunch to be done, and I looked up, and it was just flames, and I was like, that's interesting, and so I ran over, panicking. I thought in my head this made sense, and now that I look upon it, it doesn't make that much sense. So I unplugged it first, and I thought, okay, it's not an oil fire. I'm going to throw water on it. That's going to work. And so I got some water, threw it on it. Flames went from this high to this high. And the back of my stove started turning colors. And I was like, this isn't good. So I had just bought, and this is the sad part. This is like right when the whole pandemic thing started, and there was like no products anywhere. So I had found one big bag of flour at the store. And the first thing I grabbed to put out this fire was that bag of flour. And I like
That's
Hulk
smart.
strength ripped it in two and just dumped it onto the fire, put it out instantly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
But
it suffocates it.
but the whole house smelled like burnt flour, which I found out is a thing, and burnt plastic.
Oh.
And it was awful. The whole house filled with smoke. I had windows open. It was awful. Just awful. And yeah, so I bought a new one because they're great products. And I trust them.
Bigger flame.
Yeah. So I wanted to get, there's one brand I was kind of set on getting, and it was like there was one for one price, but for $10 more, I can get a bigger one. I thought, well, it's $10. I'll get the bigger one. I did not realize how much bigger this thing is. This is bigger than my microwave. So, I've decided that, and Tom's going to laugh about this. I've thought about making a side video for the show of can it air fry? And where I just take recipes and I try to cook it in the air fryer. Just whatever. Like grilled cheese sandwich, can you make it in an air fryer? Potato chips, can you make it in an air fryer? Just whatever. Can I make it in the air fryer? And I'm going to try to figure out ways to do it without using any recipes. I'm just going to like whatever makes sense in my crazy mind, I'm going to like try to do it.
The Instapot does pretty much everything.
Yeah.
You could do that with the Instapot too. That 15 bean soup is through the Instapot. You don't have to soak it all day long and all night long. You just throw it in there and it cooks in like 30 minutes. It's amazing.
So are you going to start this before or after the Star Trek thing?
Well, I got my props, all of them, for the Star Trek thing. So, yeah. And it's shiny. Look at that thing.
Explain to Brian your Star Trek thing.
Oh, yeah. This was the cheapest one. So, you know, I don't know why the Next Generation one was so cheap, but it was cheap. You know what? The Voyager one, 4 times this one. So, yeah, that's weird, huh? So.
Oh, dear Lord. Just go on with your explanation of what you're going to do.
Oh, you want me to explain it?
Yes.
So,
because Brian wasn't on the show last week.
I would like to I'm going to green screen behind me.
Okay.
And I've got a background which I can actually give you guys a teaser of if I can get my virtual background here. So, it's going to be something like this. And except
like
the windows in the background, those are purposely blacked out because this is the type of image, a GIF, not GIF, but a PNG image. So all that is clear back there, and so I'm running a video background behind this that is stars going by. So
you have a stock image
yes.
with no one in 10 forward.
Well, yeah, because it would look weird with people just going. So, and then it's going to be me, and I'm going to have the little thing on, and my other prop was going to be like something, and I'm going to be like tapping. And basically what I'm going to be doing is I've come up with the idea of I'm going to be someone in Starfleet that's picking basically the best captain. And I'm going episode by episode of Star Trek 90s. We're doing 90s captains. So, well, 80s and 90s, I guess you'd say. So I start with the first episode of Next Generation. I start with then Deep Space Nine and then Voyager. And then I basically pick like whoever was the best captain in that episode. And so, like, spoiler alert, first episode, it's obviously Cisco. He becomes 3 minutes into that show, he's the emissary. And then he's negotiating, or he's like in a wormhole negotiating things. It's insane. All the stuff he does in one episode.
That's true.
And then he's got the right people in charge because they're like moving the whole station to like claim the wormhole. Now, the one negative thing is he's out playing emissary while they're dealing with like not Dominion, but like whatever their name was, the people coming in.
Not the Bajorans were the ones that were the slaves.
Yeah,
the
Cardassians, yeah. So
Gold Cot.
Yeah. So the Cardassians.
But Picard was there.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's
yeah.
fine.
But
that's the only reason why Sisko could get away, was because Picard and the Enterprise were there. Sisko didn't need a starship.
Yeah. So, and I've taken notes on the first episode, and I started watching the second episode and stuff. So I haven't picked a winner on that one yet, but it's definitely not Picard again, because in the second episode of Next Generation, Wesley Crusher takes over the Enterprise. Okay, a drunk Wesley Crusher commandeers the whole ship.
But he's like Data smart as a child.
Yeah, but come on.
I mean, I get it. Well, like, Picard will always be my favorite captain because I have so much time and experience with him. But if you really stop and think about it, Picard almost destroyed all of humanity on multiple occasions by accident.
Yes.
Like the very end of the series, they had to fix that. Like the last 4 episodes was them unfucking what he'd done.
Sisko destroyed an entire ecosystem for one man.
Dude, but who was that one man? I don't remember.
He joined the Dominion. It was
okay.
He was a Starfleet security officer who became a Dominion spy and went off and
nuke him. It's fine.
Captain Picard played games with Q. Sisko punched him in the face. Okay. So there you go.
And Janeway let him have his way with her.
I actually like the Janeway episodes with John Delancey. They had quite a few interesting episodes. But
Ryan, you got anything? You got anything this week or no?
Me? No. I just came along for the ride. I was up till 2 a.m. rebooting phone equipment last night. So
who this time?
I can't say.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah. Business.
Okay.
Someone actually, an employer similar to yours. So they have yearly and monthly reboot schedules to keep the systems online, because in the world of telecom, nothing ever stops. So you have to reboot at some point because nothing likes to just run forever. And of course, since it was my first time doing it, everything that could possibly be different or wrong happened. So like the first 2 servers out of 17 we had to do took 30 minutes each to come up.
Oh, wow.
Right. And I only had like a 6-hour window. Luckily, after that, everything went pretty smooth, but no. So I'm just barely awake and trying to struggle through. But no, I wanted to give him some crap about Space Force. I was actually going to try and come up with something to bring with me as effectively like an auditory gift, but unfortunately, because of work, I just have not had a chance to. So I'll try and work on something for you guys in the next coming weeks, and I'll let you know ahead of time.
Well, hey, you're welcome to come anytime.
I might just have to start writing down some of my weird 3 a.m. conversations with myself or with my cat. I used to have those with Tom and another friend of ours that usually divulged into something. I'll leave you with this. So we decided at one point in time that it would be really interesting if cable channels, and you can't really do this, so before PETA has anything to say, you can't really do this. It's inhumane and it's not right, but it's funny. So imagine if cable television used large gorillas. So you have like pay for television, and we just send in these large gorillas into like embattled terrorist encamped areas, right? So instead of sending in innocent people, you send in battle gorillas, right? But you only keep the best ones, the ones that come back. So among those, then you're dropping like nail bombs and napalm, right? think of this like a really bad 80s Rambo movie. So we decided if you just keep recycling the ones that keep making it back the best, they're going to end up with some kind of weird psychological problem, especially if you're just filling them full of illicit drugs anyways. And so we decided that the best thing you could probably call that would be the Super Sentai Monkey Suicide Force.
I remember
might
that
be able to come up
conversation.
with something like that with better explanation. That'd be about it.
I remember that
That was a 4-hour-long conversation.
That was, and a lot of
and that was the climax. If that tells you anything, that was also 15 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah. It's 2020, baby. I don't know what you expect. You're either wearing a mask and running away from something, or you're wearing a mask and running into something right now.
Yep.
You know, I mean, the beauty of my job right now is I do get to talk to some European and Asian located customers, and you get kind of a unique perspective from some of them because they are also then dealing with a lot of the same things that we are. You know, the protests and the COVID. That sparked international protests across the world in both things. People fighting against the government not wanting to mandate wearing PPE everywhere or shutdowns, and then racial inequality and discrimination. It's scary stuff.
This is like a whole
it's a weird time to be alive.
Yeah, it really is. It's very odd. And then we've got the Sahara dust.
Oh God, I'm not.
Yeah, that's coming. That's coming tomorrow. Yeah.
Oh, then the good thing I drained my pool from the last dust storm that we had that ruined it. So I mean, got to use that all of 2 weeks. It was great.
I did read though that I guess the Sahara dust thing is beneficial. Like it adds like nutrients to the ground. So I guess
it's flying murder hornets probably here.
Notice how those just disappeared? Like no one's noticed a murder hornet in a while, so I'm pretty sure the Space Force took care of those.
Or African killer bees, you know, which I think, you know, murder hornets would kill African killer bees. I'm not sure. I don't know.
They got a pact. Yes, they just stay off each other's turf. It's fine.
Yeah. Trevor, you're looking away. You're making odd faces off camera.
He's thinking about how much he's going to have to edit out of what I just did.
No, I'm fine. I was just muting myself. Oh, because I've got editing. She works in mental health, so and she's on call. So yeah. I was very worried. So, anyways,
that happens sometimes. Yeah, I can see that.
Anyways, sorry about that. Well, this was a extra fun episode. We've gone, looks like, longer than we normally go.
Yeah, a lot longer. About almost.
Yeah, you got to go to the movies.
I don't think I can make it now.
Yeah, you can make it.
What movie are you going to?
I was gonna go to Admiral Twins playing the Avengers.
Oh yeah, you got time. What time does it start?
9.
Yeah, you got plenty of time. Just start driving now.
HTFU, hurry the fuck up.
No, I'll just wait until next weekend.
Yeah. I mean, if you get close enough, you won't even miss it. You'll be able to see it rolling up.
You've probably seen it enough times. You could probably know what they're saying.
Fill in the gaps.
Yeah.
I'll just go next weekend. It's cool.
It's cool. What's
I mean, we got a 3-day weekend next weekend. So
yeah, that'd be nice.
Woo woo.
Mm-hmm.
I have Friday off. Woo woo.
Oh, I do too. Yep.
Me too.
I should have been smart and then maybe have taken like the Monday off too, but I've taken the last 2 Mondays off, so I can't. I'm dwindling my leave. So.
Well, I'm a mom, so I don't get days off.
Well, there you go. I can say that too, right? I don't get days off either.
I got teenagers. I can take a fucking day off if I want to. Motherfuckers are fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The youngest one cooks better than anybody else in the house does.
Yeah,
the little babies, they need me.
Oh, yeah, that's different. Yeah.
One baby.
You don't leave them alone for about 6-7 hours at a time, and you got to come back and change them.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
My kids, I have to
3
peek
hours
in and make
max.
sure they're okay because I don't see them throughout the day at all. They're either sleeping or they're playing video games. So
that's the life.
I did this, and my kids hadn't seen me, and my daughter just saw me out here. I did this 6 hours ago. I mean,
well,
we've talked. She just didn't see me.
Addie is not
Was it
one
because
to
of
pay
this?
attention, though.
No, yeah, she isn't. She's not one to pay attention. She's not. No, she wouldn't even need her. So sometimes she's just too damn lazy to put on her fucking glasses. And she just walk around the house and bump into shit.
I shaved one time, and it took her how long to notice that I shaved my beard?
She didn't know your name was Tom.
Oh, yeah.
Thomas.
That's a different story altogether.
Oh, that's great. Did she think it was Buddha?
Yes, she
Okay,
did.
so I'm watching it's the first time that
It's as bad as it sounds.
So Brian and Shelly went to Louisiana for a week for a funeral, and I'm watching Trent and Addie. Well, one day I took Addie with me to go pick up some pizza, and I went up to the thing. I had her with me, little blonde-haired, hazel-eyed girl, and me. I said, I got a pizza for Thomas. She's like, looks at me and says, I didn't know your name was Thomas.
Oh no.
You thought my name was
great.
Uncle Buddha? Like, yeah. And I paid for a pizza and ran. So yeah.
Did the cashier go, do you know who you're with, young lady?
Yes. Blink twice if you're in danger.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not a shortage of stories. It's just a matter of what do you want to get aired out on
Yes.
public internet.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
You're not hiding your identity well enough for me to say some of the shit I know. And to be fair, neither am I.
He's wanted in Mexico. So.
Oh, God. That poor mermaid still doesn't know what happened.
You make one damn mermaid scream and no one will let you forget about it.
You didn't make her scream.
Oh.
You made her fear for her life.
She squealed, screamed. It was
Security was coming.
It was a miscommunication. That's all.
That is an endangered
It was a
species.
lack of communication. What you didn't tell was that she was fixing to get the lowest dip she'd ever had in her life.
Lack of communication, miscommunication. It's all the same, all the same. It's just how you present it. Okay.
Yeah, I'm presenting it as you tried to dip her and she thought you were trying to take her into the ocean like she was a little mermaid.
It's partially Trevor's fault because he wasn't with me.
You didn't have your handler.
Was that the time we were trying to make the most hilarious photos to get on that board?
Yeah, because we were on the board every day, and this was
Somebody
the only
liked
day
us.
that this was the only day that we weren't going to do something together. So yeah, I tried to dip a mermaid without telling her.
We got like 6 free photos from that cruise. Oh, well,
That was a good trip.
that was very good.
Trip.
I miss it. I want to go
I do
again.
too, but you couldn't get me on a boat right now
No.
unless it was the fucking Ark.
Yeah. Not right now.
Probably the Ark of the Covenant. Is probably what it would end up being, but, I mean,
Last week we were telling, Kristina agreed that she drank all 3 of us under the table.
Yeah.
At Trevor's wedding.
I don't remember a lot of that other than being in trouble during muster a lot.
Yeah, well,
that story got told.
Yeah.
During a safety briefing when you're 2 drunk middle-aged men, apparently you get in trouble with one of their wives.
Well,
and the other one asks the crewman where C4 is.
Yeah.
I had a hat that I wore on the ship, and the
Mm-hmm.
hat had been squished into a bag or a luggage or something. And I put it on, and it looked like I was wearing like a tiny little sombrero or something. And Megan's mom was cracking up so hard, and I was drunk, so I thought it was the most hilarious thing ever. And then I was looking through my phone, and somehow I deleted all the wedding pictures.
Oh,
It was
Uh,
terrible.
they were taking pictures with my phone, and it had actually run out of space. I didn't
Oh
have enough
no.
space to continue taking photos on it, so they had switched phones. Um, but no, we had the little guy running around with us taking photos. I honestly don't remember if I actually went to a mustard or not. Honest to God, I don't know if I went to a mustard or not. I was so trashed at that point. I was drunk before we got married. So I was like 4 drinks in at that point, and they were all Long Island's.
oh yeah.
And so
I
at
was
that
drinking
point,
the ship ones.
yeah.
Where the sun ships or something like that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was we got into our like little station area where we're supposed to meet before we even get on the boat, and the lady was like, "Would you like some alcohol?" I'm like, "Yeah,
They didn't offer me any
I
alcohol.
know." I'm walking on the boat with a Long Island. That was an experience.
Yeah.
But that was a lot of fun. But yeah, no, I do remember one mustard before we had to go to one of the the showrooms, the big auditoriums, and I was really drunk, and I had lost my card, and that had Faster to the Fun on. It was like the first time I ever had Faster to the Fun, and they just put that sticker on there, and I was very proud of that. And I lost it, and I was kind of panicky, like first day, hour into this thing, and I've lost my card. And so I go to guest relations or whatever, guest services, before the boat even leaves dock, and or while it's leaving dock, and the line is going out like just way, like it's about to wrap around the whole room. And I had Faster to the Fun, so I can like skip the line. I can go get in like the short line. And like the whole time I'm like in my head, I'm like, but I don't have that card, so like they're gonna question if I really have this or not. And so like in my drunken head, I'm like, I should just get in this other line. So I'm like standing there like in a panic, and like one of the workers walked by and like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "I lost my card." And they don't even ask. They take me to the front of the line, and they got me a new card, put a sticker on it. I was fine after that. But yeah.
Just a little bit of panic goes a long way.
Yes. I didn't know what to do. I had like this whole like war in my head of which line to get into.
So one time I got on the boat to be then, before like anything happens, my name gets called across the PA. Please come to the whatever the lobby area was, which is where you get on physically, right? So I get down there, and the gentleman that's down there asked me for my ID and my ship sign and sail, and then directs me off the boat to the security office on the port by myself. I just wander off, no ID, no card. I got down there, and I had to identify my bag because I'd forgotten to take a pair of wire cutters out of my bag. I had brought a pair of wire cutters because I'd brought zip ties. I had brought zip ties because the year before that, we'd had a pack of luggage explode on us while exiting the boat, and I wasn't going to let that shit happen again. Not with 2 kids. So I brought zip ties and wire cutters to zip it up if it breaks and clip the little end off. That was quite literally the only thought in my head. I didn't think about hijacking the boat or causing a hostage situation.
With a pair of wire cutters.
I guess anything's possible. They let me on with a big-ass pocket knife, whatever. So I gladly threw all that away, and they let me back on the boat with my card. What was the next one?
Y'all moved rooms one time.
No, what was the other one then? There was that one, and then
I've always gotten a note in my bag saying we've removed this because you tried to sneak on alcohol, and if you want it
Rum
back,
running, yeah.
and if you want it back, you can collect it at the end of the cruise. And I'm always like, who does that? Who is going to be like, I want that alcohol in my mouthwash bottle?
Oh God, I remember that year.
Well, it wasn't suspicious at all. Two 32-ounce goat bottles.
They were huge. Hey, oral hygiene is very important to me.
My wife's aunt literally gets on with 3 bottles, like sports jugs, and she writes on them, laxative, 8 a.m., like so many milliliters. The next one she puts is stool softener, 1030, and then the next one is like antacid, 1255 or some shit like that. She's like, they don't say shit. I just
I need to remember that.
Right? It's the simplest thing.
I just can imagine the guy that looks at that.
I'm gonna go, guys.
Okay, let's wrap this up.
Bye, Kristina.
Bye.
Bye.
I did set off the fire detector once in our room with an e-cig. The problem with that is that you can't turn it off at all. It has to be turned off from the bridge.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yes.
That's crazy.
So I had called and like my e-cig went off in my pocket or some bullshit like that, I told them. And they sent an engineer down. It's still going off the entire time. I'm this close to divorced at that point.
Yeah.
And he opens the door and I was like, it was my e-cig, and he goes, we have a hairdryer malfunction. Can you go ahead and kill that alarm, please? Thank you. I was like, you just saved me $250. Thank you very much.
Exactly.
Ow, peace out.
Of
course, I don't know that they enforce that bullshit, because I know a dude that smoked an entire ounce of pot in his room, in his bathroom, and his steward never said shit.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Our last cruise, the next door neighbor to my sister was smoking pot, and which no issue with it happening, but the dude was like nonstop with it. Like he was out on his balcony. He was he was always in his room and always smoking pot, it seemed like. I mean, and
she may have been roomed next to the same guy.
Yeah,
we may be talking about the same dude.
Yeah. So, and they know that like the steward knew, and because he kept going over there and knocking on the door, but the guy just didn't seem to care. And I was wondering, like, if they were fining him for every time they were doing that. Like, I was wondering, like, what kind of bill did he rack up? Good Lord.
I think it's just, if you're caught smoking in it, it's like I think it's $500 now. I think it was $250 when you could still smoke on your balcony.
Yeah.
But since they cut that out, I think it's like $500 if you get caught. Cleaning fee.
Our first cruise on the Ecstasy, we smoked in our room.
That's how many years ago that was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, gentlemen, I'm going to hop off as well. I appreciate you being on here. I'll reach out to you guys and see if I can come up with a skit for you.
Awesome.
All right, cool. All right.
We'll see you guys later.
See ya.
See ya. See you later, bub.
See ya, buddy.
All right. Well, looks like it's just me. Everybody popped out. So, thank you guys for joining us. This is Trevor, the host of Highly Logical, signing out. See you guys next week.